Welcome to another edition of Morning Date, where we get to meet people whose passion for their work has made them some of the best in their field. Our guest today has stayed true to herself in her work and brought alive a stunning blend of East meets West pieces. 오늘 저희 게스트는요, 금속 공예가 jewelry design artist인 Kiwon Wang 선생님입니다. Hello and welcome to the studio.
Hi, how are you?
I'm
Thank you
doing
for
great.
inviting.
Thank you for being here. Could you say hello to our listeners first of all?
Sure. Hi, this is Kiwon Wang. How are you?
And give us a brief intro about yourself.
Yes, I'm Kiwon Wang. I live and work in New York City. My studio is in Chelsea. I'm a full-time jewelry artist.
And you're wearing your jewelry today as well. I have to say it's a real eye-stopper.
Oh, thank you.
지금 뭐 라디오기 때문에 당장은 보시지 못하시겠지만 직접 만든 작품들을 목에도 지금 하고 계시고 팔에도 손가락에도 지금 뭐 반지 하나 끼고 오셨고요. 굉장히 멋있습니다. I'm in awe of your works, and we'll talk about that in our interview today. Now, in order for our listeners to better understand what sort of jewelry you make and what sort of art you involve yourself in, could you explain what this looks like? Later on, of course, it'll be up on the internet, so our listeners can maybe watch it later on. But right now, for those of our listeners only tuning in with their ears, tell us about your jewelry.
Do you want me to talk about jewelry I'm wearing or
The
in
ones
general?
you're wearing and in general as well.
Well, this particular piece is one of my favorite. I mean, I make them all, so they're all my favorite. But this particular one is one of the first series that I made. Is East meets West series.
Right.
I combine non-precious material with a precious material to create a contrast, yet a new harmony because they worked so well together.
Right.
In this particular necklace, I use gold and pearl combined with New York Times newspaper.
와우, 지금 이제 목걸이를 하고 계시는데요. 굉장히 독특합니다. 펜던트 부분이 이렇게 동그란, 이거 제가 좀 저급한 표현을 써도 괜찮을지 모르겠지만 도너트 같이 생긴 그렇지만 굉장히 특별한 재질을 가지고 만드셨다고 들었어요. 뉴욕 타임스 신문지를 가지고 만드셨고 거기에는 그 다음에 여러 개의 진주 펄이 또 이렇게 같이 어우러져 있습니다. But I understand the pearls move.
Yeah, when I'm nervous, I tend to play with my jewelry. So that got me into making tactile jewelry. Jewelry is accompanied by a human, and so the role of a jewelry completes when it is on. And when you have it on, you're aware of the existence of the jewelry on your body. So you could sort of like play, and a lot of jewelry is stiff, it just sits on it. And I wanted to make something that's interactive, so you could communicate, you could caress, you could change the design aspect of it, and you could say, oh hi, how are you doing? You know, you talk to with a piece. That's why it's special, not because it's made with expensive material. So that interactivity is what makes it so special. So that's the kind of concept that I wanted to get out of.
I love that it's a tactile jewelry, as you said, because I like to be a bit fidgety sometimes. When I get nervous, I like to touch things. And what better thing to touch than a statement piece of jewelry like what you're wearing
Yeah,
right now.
totally. Yes.
네, 지금 이 목걸이 펜던트 부분이 다 움직입니다. 그래서 설명을 제가 이제 최대한 한번 좀 드려보도록 할게요. 저희 청취자분들을 위해서. 이제 각각의 이제 진주 부분들이 이게 돌아가요. 그래서 손으로 직접 만질 수 있고 탁타일하다는 게 이제 직접 손으로 만지고 움직일 수 있다 이런 의미가 있기 때문에 대화를 하면서도 이렇게 만질 수 있는 그런 jewelry가 되겠습니다. 그리고 일단은 굉장히 오묘한 느낌이 좀 들어요. It's very sort of mystical and I don't know, I keep looking at it. There's something very special about this. I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it.
Oh, that's good. It could be. I was told by a lot of collectors many different things, but I think it could be also such an unusual combination of newspaper, being newsprint pad with ink, but it records history, and it sends news of the world.
Right.
So what I did was I deconstructed what newspaper is and just use it as a newsprint pad, which is organic. It's made from tree.
Yeah.
And then by combining with gold and pearl, I think that itself is an unusual combination, but somehow I think it works because it creates so many reactions from so many people, which I'm very happy about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us your website address, and maybe our listeners can get a better idea if they go and check the website right now.
Yes, I have two different websites. One website is for more artistic jewelry, like the one I'm wearing, is Kiwon Wang.net. And then I have another website that I designed more reasonable pieces for broader audience. That is kiwoncollection.com.
네. KIWONWANG kiwonwang.net 들어가셔서 이 jewelry art 지금 한번 보시면서 들으시면은 아마 이해가 더 잘 되실 것 같습니다. kiwonwangcollection.com kiwoncollection.com 이 사이트도 함께 방문해 주시면 좋겠고요. You have very, very interesting collections as I can see there. But let's start with a bit of history. Did you grow up in America?
No, I grew up in Korea, and when I was in high school, I visited America, and I went to Stanford University to visit, and I fell in love with the campus and the air the students carry, the self-confidence.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to study in America. I wanted to have that. So I worked really hard. I had to convince my parents to send me. And so I went to Atlanta first for my undergraduate school. And I studied jewelry and silversmithing. And then I went to Rhode Island School of Design for my master's and studied same thing, jewelry, and they call it light metal. And while I was in Georgia, I went to Italy for a study abroad program in Cortona, is near Florence.
Yeah.
And I studied art and sculpture there too.
Wow. Well, talking about Rhode Island, you also taught at the Rhode Island School of Design, and also here in Korea you taught at Kookminde too. Two very different schools. Was the atmosphere or the sort of environment very different?
Yeah, it was. I was lucky to get a scholarship when I was at RISD. Okay, RISD is an acronym for Rhode Island School of Design. I was able to teach from the second semester of my graduate school, and it was an amazing experience because RISD is one of the best art school in America. The students there are fiercely competitive, and so it was very exciting to teach. At the same time, I got more out of teaching than probably giving students. And that led me to invitation from Kookmin University. Kookmin University is also really, really good art school. They have a great metal program. So I was asked to teach sophomore and graduate students. And it was a little bit difficult because I didn't know how to pronounce some of the tools in Korean.
Right, because you studied in America.
Yeah, so I bought a book and I studied because I was told the students don't like when Koreans come and all of a sudden speaking in English. So I studied,
did you?
and then I was teaching. It was a really amazing experience. In sophomore, there were 3 exchange students from England. So my the professor who hired me asked me to do it in bilingual. So it was really also interesting.
Wow.
And I lived in the campus with other international faculties.
Yeah.
So I was living at school, and the professor gave me a little space to do my own work. So I lived with students at the studio.
Yeah.
And I got to interact with a lot of students, and they work really, really hard.
Right.
They do. I mean, I don't know when they ever go home and sleep. You know, they're there so late at night, and then they come home early in the morning, and they are very good students. They work hard. But the only thing that I thought it was different is that they were a little bit timid about expressing what's inside, because the Korean education back then was not built to express it's okay to be yourself.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit difficult time, but I have to convince students that you could do it. Bring something from inside and outside that makes you who you are. Yeah. So in that sense, it was very difficult because I didn't need to do that at RISD, but here I try my best to do that. But I became really good friends with students. We were like hanging out. It was an amazing experience.
Yeah. Are your students sometimes an inspiration for your artwork as well?
Totally. Because jewelry, as well as other art fields, you have to continuously talk with the students. Why are you making this way, and what's in your mind? How do you want to express? So I am in contact with students almost like I feel like sometimes I'm a therapist. Because I have to listen to their story.
Yeah.
And while I'm doing that, sometimes they suggest some ideas that's so brilliant, it just hit me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, this is so good, and I compliment them, but then I make a mental note of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
아, 그렇군요. 미국에서 조지아, 애틀랜타에서도 공부를 하셨고, 로드 아일랜드에서 마스터스 석사 하시면서 또 거기서 미국 학생들도 가르치셨을 뿐만 아니라 그 이후에 이제 우리나라에 오셔서 국민대에서도 강의를 하셨었는데 모든 곳에서 학생들과 함께하는 시간에서 많은 영감을 받으셨다는 말씀까지 지금 해주셨습니다. Now, what would you say was the collection that really helped you to break into the business and make you stand out?
All my collection to me is equally great.
Yeah.
But the collection that really put me on the spotlight was the East Meets West collection that I introduced. First, I introduced paper because I grew up in Hanok, and the doors was wooden frame with hanji.
Right.
So the first thing I see is paper, and that was my drawing pad. I used to draw on it. Sometimes I poke a hole to see what my parents were doing inside their room. Yeah, and so I have this love for paper. To me, it is home. So I introduced paper. I experimented so many different ways to combine paper and the metal without losing each other's identity. So I did that, and I put a lot of effort and energy because that's the first collection that I actually created.
Right.
And also partially is because I wanted to develop my own language when I was at graduate school. But I didn't actually quite even write down why makes Korean and who am I as a Korean woman. What do I represent, or the Korean culture, all those things. I had a mental block, and so I restudied about Korea, Korea language, art, culture, ceramic, even hanbok, and then the landscape, the contour of the mountain, everything, philosophy.
Yeah.
And after painstaking procedure of discovering who I am, and that created this East Meets West first collection. So that's very, very special to me, and it has a lot of my spirit in it. And I think maybe that's why I got so much attention. I am kind of lazy in advertising my own work, but they all came to me. I was written up in so many magazines, publications. I was asked to participate in worldwide exhibitions at numerous museums.
Yeah.
So I would say that really like stand out.
Your pieces speak for themselves, really, don't they? East meets West, 동서양의 만남이라는 주제를 가지고 작품을 처음 만들었을 때 그때 이제 굉장히 많은 노력을 들여서 나는 누구인가 이제 한국 사람으로서 또 미국에서 사는 한국 사람으로서 East meets West라는 컨셉에 대한 많은 연구를 하셨다는 말씀도 지금 해주셨고요. 그로 인해서 특별히 홍보를 하지는 않았지만 이제 굉장히 많은 곳에서 의뢰가 들어오고 또 이제 관심을 많이 보이면서 이렇게 또 유명해지신 얘기까지 언급을 해주셨습니다. 자, 그러면은 우리 노래 한 곡 듣고 와서 계속해서 기원 왕 선생님의 작품 세계에 대한 얘기를 좀 나눠볼게요. This is Duffy, Mercy 노래 듣고 오겠습니다. 네, Duffy의 노래 듣고 왔습니다. You're listening to Morning Date and we're joined in the studio by jewelry artist and designer Kiwon Wang. 세계적으로 이름이 난 현존 인물에 관한 인명사전 Who's Who에도 이름이 등재되셨는데요. When was your name added to Who's Who and what was that like?
Wow, I was nominated by one of my collector in 2011. And so I filled out the form, but I didn't think of it. I didn't think I was gonna get it. And then when I got the notice, I was beside myself. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe now I could die because my name will be somewhere. It was the Cambridge Library. It was going to be in Who's Who book at the Cambridge Library.
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
Right.
And until then, Who's Who was not very far from me. I didn't even think of it. And what I like about it is they recognize also like the artists, jewelry artists, to be on their books. What I appreciate it the most, and then that led to another different kind of edition, that most influential, intellectual, 100 most influential intellectual. I was asked to be on that book.
Wow.
That was another major like honor. And then after a few years, actually I was on the Who's Who number of years in a row. And then I got a letter from Korean American Society. They want to put my name on also people who inspired, who were really excellent in their fields. So I was on that list as well.
Wow.
But it was amazing feeling.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that must have felt like. And it's a huge privilege for me to be sitting with you and looking at your pieces right now that I only saw on the internet prior to meeting you today. 지금 이렇게 그 jewelry art에 대한 얘기도 나누고 있고요. 그 다음에 이제 현존 인물 중에서 이제 세계적으로 이름이 난 그 유명한 분들의 책인 Who's Who에도 이름이 등재되신 기원 왕 선생님과 함께하고 있습니다. 아까 음악 듣기 전에도 얘기를 했었지만 종이와 금속과 진주의 조화, 동양과 서양의 조화, 여러 가지 조화에 대한 얘기를 해주셨는데 그뿐만 아니라 컬렉션 중에서 보니까 그 Hidden Jewels라고 해서 그냥 딱 겉보기에는 어떤 케이스처럼 생겼지만 그 자체가 jewelry 워크고 그 안에 진주라든지 이런 보석이 들어있는 작품도 굉장히 독특하더라고요. Could you tell us about the Hidden Jewels concept? How you actually made accessory cases and accessory as well?
Yes, I noticed a lot of people, they keep their real jewelry in the safe,
Yeah.
and they wear fake jewelry. That made me really upset.
Oh.
So I wanted to make something they could carry, like safe box, and have jewel inside.
Right.
So that was a concept. So I made a box. Every one of the box is full of jewel.
Yeah.
In my case, a pearl.
Yes.
You could open, and then some of the box, when you open, the pearls fall down. But it's still attached, but it falls down. So you could show that pearls inside the box. But then you could close it.
Yeah.
And then be a little bit more moderate. And so I made a whole bunch of those, and I got really excited because it's hide and seek.
Yes.
You know, so and also it give wearer a option. Do you want to show off or you want to be like modest? Yeah. So I got really excited. I was just making one after another, and it was just amazing experience for me as well. But it came from the rebel concept of jewelry not being worn and kept in the safe. So why not just carry safe?
Exactly.
Put your jewel inside, right?
What a good idea.
Yeah, some of the rings I hid diamond inside. Yeah, so when you see outside, it's just a sphere.
Yeah.
But then there's a gold and a diamond. Yeah, I had fun making that.
간혹 가다가 이제 너무 소중한 뭐 보석이나 액세서리를 우리가 금고에다가 넣어놓고 착용을 하지 않는 그런 경우들을 보셨다 이런 말씀을 하시면서 굉장히 안타까웠다고 하십니다. 이거를 이제 하고 다녀야지 좋은데 너무 소중하다 보니까 세이프 안에다가 넣기만 하는데, 그러면 우리가 아예 세이프를 메고 다니는 게 어떻겠는가. 여기서 아이디어가 이제 차감이 돼서 멜 수 있는 케이스, 그 케이스 안에는 또 진주가 또 들어있는 그런 컬렉션도 선보이셨어요. 그래서 그냥 봤을 때는 또 굉장히 좀 모디스트한, 화려하지 않은 것 같이 보이면서도 또 열면은 또 안에 굉장히 화려한 또 진주라든지 이런 보석이 나오는 그런 컨셉도 만들어내셨습니다. I suppose, you should never judge a book by its cover, as they say, and that's the same with your jewelry as well.
Oh, totally, yes.
And I love how you play with messages in your jewelry. Didn't you also hold an exhibit at a very well-known Korean gallery with your collections to do just that?
Yeah, I was asked to have an exhibition at Hyundai Gallery in Sagan-dong. But Hyundai Gallery's reputation is very high among artists, and it's almost an honor to have an exhibition there. And I was thrilled. And they were known for only exhibiting fine artists, but like it's very rare that jewelry artists were invited to exhibit, and they they invited furniture artists. So we collaborated to a certain degree. He made a special furniture to display my work, and so it was an amazing experience, and it went really well, and I got a lot of recognition. That was the first exhibition that I had in Korea. And then that led to another exhibition at the same gallery. This time it was more like a cultural event organized by Taepyeongyang. And so they were launching a new, very high-end cosmetic, but they wanted to make it as a artistic event. So they asked me to exhibit, and so I asked the gallery owner, how about if we invite some famous artists or like the people in the art world to walk around with my work, and then do the ceremony at the end of the opening night to put the pieces back. So it's the reverse of the ordinary exhibition. They liked the idea. So we had like fashion designers, professors, sculptors or model, and even hanbok designers. They were mingling with the audiences, wearing my work, and people came and touched. That was amazing experience for me to see how people came and it was accessible and touch the actual piece. And that created a huge vibe, and it was really good. I was very happy.
Yeah.
And then another experience, just being in Korea, I was asked to curate an international jewelry exhibition from Seonggok Museum. And so what I did was, the jewelry made with non-precious material was not very widely known in 2011. So I introduced the history of how this using non-precious material was introduced in contemporary jewelry.
Right.
So it started in Europe in 60s. So the whole exhibition was like almost like a history. So it was in chronological order. So over 100 artists from like over 30 different countries. It was a huge undertaking. I worked like 2-3 years just for that.
Really?
But it went really well.
Yeah.
Especially, I was told that the children loved it. They react to this new jewelry, and in that sense, I think I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like giving chance all different age people to react and to learn something from it.
Because your pieces do bring together very accessible materials like paper, like you said, but then it also has the beautiful pearls, and I noticed in your collections you always use pearls. Is there a particular reason for that?
Yeah, when I was studying about Asian philosophy, I came to a phrase that in Asia they call the Buddha's belly as a pearl to universe. They think of Buddha's belly is a beginning point to communicate to universe, and I thought it was really beautiful gesture. And also pearl is created from oysters suffering. When foreign material comes in, they get itchy, so they create a membrane that becomes beautifully lustered pearl. So this paradoxical quality of it, it was what I was so drawn to. When you think of it, East meets West. So it totally suits to my concept. And also pearl is naturally created sphere shape that represent the earth and the universe.
Wow,
that's
such a
why
holistic view of art and the world, in fact.
Yeah, like when I pick material to use, I always ask myself, why am I using this? What does this mean to me? And I don't just pick up anything. Maybe that's why my work is much more personal, because they all have so many meaning in my life.
모든 것이 이제 개인적으로 아주 큰 뜻이 있고 의미가 있다, 이런 얘기를 해주시면서 특히 진주를 많이 사용하시는 이유에는 뭐 우주와의 소통의 통로로 불교에 보면 이제 뭐 그 부처의 배꼽, 뭐 진주라는 얘기가 나와 있다라는 글을 우연히 보신 이후로부터는 거기에 좀 매료가 되셔서 진주를 많이 사용하게 됐다는 말씀까지 해주셨고요. East meets West이기 때문에 동양의 문화는 또 그렇게 접목을 시키고, 또 웨스트는 또 이제 금속이라든지 이제 지금 뭐 뉴스페이퍼도 이제 뉴욕 뉴스페이퍼를 가지고 쓰셨는데 종이는 서양에서 또 가져오는 부분도 있으신 것 같고, 뭐 동서양을 다 오고 가고 하시는 것 같습니다. Well, you've received so much praise from the international community, but what's the best compliment you've ever received about your work?
I was asked to give a lecture at the Renwick Gallery, which is a Smithsonian American Art Museum. So I was talking about my life, how I came to America, and how I include that in my work, and just talk about myself. And then at the end of the lecture, 3 women came to me. They were crying. They were crying, and they said, "Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. That means so much to us." And I was shocked because, English is not my native tongue, and I was just honestly talking about my life, and then moved several people. That was to me that was the best compliment that I ever got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved them emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
최고의 찬사는 이제 눈물이었다 이런 얘기를 해주셨습니다. 스미소니언 박물관에서 했었던 전시 엑스비션
No, it's a lecture.
lecture.
Oh,
강의. 강의에서 이제 끝나고 나서 3명 정도가 선생님을 찾아와서 눈물을 흘리면서 이렇게 인생 얘기를 해주셔서 너무 감사합니다 인사를 했다고 하는데 수많은 미디어와 전 세계가 열광을 하는 그런 아트피스를 만드시지만 그런 칭찬과 찬사보다도 그 눈물의 의미가 굉장히 컸다 이런 얘기를 해주셨습니다. 정말 그러셨을 것 같아요. Well, your collections are amazing, as we all know, and you also design for the general public as well. So tell us a bit about that. The other jewelry that you design.
Yeah, but you know the other jewelry and the production is all for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I design my one of a kind, I don't have a particular audience in mind because jewelry finishes raw when it is on the body, and as long as you are comfortable, it may be a little bit. Some pieces are a little bit more uncomfortable, but you could convince yourself. You can make yourself comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, my work is for everybody. The only difference is that the production work, I make more than one piece, and I lower the price so more people can appreciate my creation. So when it comes down to it, is the economical factor and maybe the scale of it and material is a little bit more durable.
It's the bracelet you're wearing, one of those?
Yeah, the bracelet
It's
is
lovely.
most of the bracelets. The design is outside of the bangle.
Yeah.
But the design is inside the bangle, so you feel the design whenever you wear it.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
that's why the circle is inside.
제가 이제 처음 봤을 때 그냥 저의 첫인상을 말씀드리자면 저는 뭐 전혀 이런 아트를 잘 모르는 사람으로서 이렇게 굉장히 예쁜 귤 안쪽에 있는 귤피 안쪽에 있는 귤 같은 느낌이 저는 쫙 들었었는데요. 굉장히 예쁘고 좀 재밌다 이런 느낌이 들었습니다. 그리고 이제 계속 만지는 것이 하나의 뭐 목표라고도 하셨는데 it's another tactile piece of jewelry as you said. 그것도 굉장히 좋은 것 같아요.
So I just want to add one more thing. So
Sure.
when I take this off, it's flat, it's two-dimensional. But as soon as you put it on, it becomes three-dimensional because human body is three-dimensional.
Yes, I love that.
Thank you.
이 팔목에 닿는 부분도 보통은 이제 팔찌라고 하면은 손목에 닿는 부분이 동그랗기 마련인데 여긴 반대로 지금 만들어 오신 이 팔찌는 겉부분이 이제 곡선을 이루고 있고 안에는 이제 조금 더 볼록한 모양을 하고 있어서 좀 독특한 것 같습니다. Now you share your work with people from all over the world. And you've been to many crafts shows. We mentioned the Smithsonian just a few seconds ago, but tell us about the Smithsonian craft show.
Yes, Smithsonian Craft Show is one of the many in America, but it's the quality-wise is the best show to get in, and the show itself actually is created from a really good cause. They charge people to enter to see the show, and the entrance fee goes to scholarship.
Oh, wow.
So it's organized by Smithsonian Women's Committee. They work very hard to promote art as not only art but research and all different areas of it. This is one of their fundraising, and people come with so much respect because they know their money goes to a really good cause.
Sure.
And also the show itself is held in one of the most beautiful museum in Washington D.C. It's called Building Museum. And artists, they have to year after year, you have to apply and you have to get juried and then you are able to exhibit at the show.
Wow.
But I was lucky enough to get in like many years in a row, and I met so many collectors, admirers. But one of the best experience is that this couple, they came, they introduced me to their other collectors who belong to one of the Smithsonian Museum, and so I call them my Washington parents.
Oh.
They don't have children, so they adopted me almost. Yes,
Yeah.
and so without that show, I wouldn't have met that kind of beautiful people.
Wow.
So it's really good venue for me, as well as meeting people. So it's a really good show. You have to work very hard to make new work to apply, but it's a great opportunity.
스미소니언 크래프트 쇼를 통해서 이제 뭐 그냥 미국의 부모님이라고 그냥 부르기도 하는 굉장히 소중한 인연도 맺으셨다는 말씀 해주셨고, 사실 여기서 작품을 보이기도 쉽지 않은 여러 가지 관문이 있는 그런 장인데, 여기서 여러 번 전시도 하셨을 뿐만 아니라 또 이제 굉장히 좋은 데 돈이 쓰이기 때문에 이게 유기적으로 다 이렇게 잘 맞물려서 돌아간다는 데에도 큰 의미가 있다, 이런 말씀을 해주셨습니다. Well, let's talk a little bit about the future. What is your next venture?
Next venture is, I don't really set what I'm going to do this, what I'm going to do that, but my life, what I experience today or tomorrow, that becomes part of my inspiration, and I create work. So sometimes my work presents the era where I was, what I did.
Yeah.
So it's like writing my biography, not with pen, but through my jewelry pieces. So my next project will be trip, things that I collected from trip, or the emotion that I got from my trip.
Right.
So I have several big trips ahead of me this year.
Oh.
I'm really excited. So I am going to, not only I'm going to bring my journal, but along the way of my excursion, what I feel, that moment, what I collect, what I see, what I feel, that's going to be my next project.
아, 그렇군요. 일종의 여행기라고나 할까요? 이제 앞으로 여행을 좀 하시면서 거기서 또 영감을 받아서 새로운 예술 작품을 만드는 게 이제 앞으로의 어떤 플랜이다라고 하시면서도 덧붙이시기를, 이제 사실 뭐 앞으로 이걸 하겠다 저걸 하겠다 이렇게 딱 계획을 세우기보다는 그냥 오가닉리, 뭐 좀 자연스럽게 이루어져가는 그런 스타일로 일을 하신다라고 하셨고요. 모든 작품이 하나의 자서전처럼 인생의 이야기를 이렇게 묘사하고 있다, 설명을 이렇게 해주셨습니다. Well, thank you so much for sharing your life story with us today on Morning Special. I know it was you're a very busy person, but thank you so much for making the time.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It was a great honor to be in the show, and you understand my work so well. That's really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a great privilege. 네, 오늘의 모닝 데이트는 바로 이렇게 금속 공예가이신 왕기원 아티스트 선생님과 함께 했습니다.